What is up, Nagatoro Nation? Eddie Hates Anime here, wondering what the heck was that intro? Nah, it's actually a perfect intro. It shows how hype I get over Nagatoro. And the fact that today's video is about Nagatoro, but not the Nagatoro that we are familiar with. Did you know that before Nagatoro became the manga and anime that we know and love today, it was actually published as a doujinshi in webcomic format? I know you hear the word doujinshi and immediately think not safe for work, but something being a doujin is not always that. Its actual definition is just a self-published work, mostly done by amateurs. That's why the not safe for work stuff you see falls under that category, as it's mostly done by fans that use a pre-existing work and make their own version of it. But enough of this manga terminology lesson. I know you're all dying to learn about webcomic Nagatoro. But before we get into the video, two things. One, I noticed that we hit 100k total views on the channel, so thank you guys so much. I know every YouTuber says it, but I do appreciate you guys. And two, if you want to contribute to the next milestone, then hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video. When I first heard about webcomic Nagatoro, I assumed it was kind of like Horimiya's original webcomic, where it was the same story for the most part, just with a different art style. But boy, did I quickly find out that that was not the case. For starters, Nagatoro is straight up sadistic, and Senpai, also known as Hachioji because unlike the anime, Senpai is given a name in the first chapter, is a masochist. The first chapter of these webcomics is arguably my favorite of the bunch. It shows us the aforementioned sadistic Nagatoro who is genuinely insane and pretty much ridicules Senpai to the point where he confesses to her, and even after he confesses, she accepts being his girlfriend just so she can do horrible things to him. I did find that kind of cool though, the fact that this version of the story started off with them getting together, rather than that seeming like the end point of the story. There are a good amount of things from the short run of Nagatoro doujinshis that I thought were really interesting. I doubt the manga will actually pick up any of the things I liked from the webcomic anytime soon, but I will tell you guys the things I liked about each chapter. Normally I wouldn't do something like this, but it's literally 5 chapters, with the last 2 being short as frick. I just told you guys about the first chapter, but the second chapter gave us the first change in art style, as throughout these chapters, Nanashi improves his art style quite a bit, as these range from a time span of about 4 years where he was working on these. We also see Nagatoro's older brother in the second chapter. His personality, in comparison to Nagatoro's older sister in the manga, is a chill, laid back one who seems to not really like her teasing, as opposed to Nagatoro's sister, who is a teaser herself. Is it just me, or does Big Sis Toro look like Ogi from Monogatari? They literally look so much alike. But the thing with Nagatoro's sister being in the manga and the older brother in the webcomic not being in the manga, I think either her older brother still exists in the manga, just hasn't been introduced yet, or Nanashi replaced him with the sister in the manga because he'd rather have someone that could tease Nagatoro, because in the rest of the manga there's no one that teases her that much besides her friends, but someone that could legitimately get on her, and that was her sister. I don't know though. I did like her brother. Moving on, in the third chapter, we truly see Senpai's masochistic side, as he agrees to let Nagatoro kick him, and the entire chapter is her kicking him. In this chapter, we do, however, see her apologize for going overboard, which is a lot like manga Nagatoro, because manga Nagatoro never goes too far past the first chapters, and she generally feels bad when she does do something messed up. We did get something kind of similar in the second chapter, but not as bad as this one where she just straight up apologizes. Next, we have the fourth chapter. It was a Christmas chapter, and Nagatoro is actually a bit grown up in it. I don't know how much older, because it seems that she's still in school. She definitely is older. Senpai gave her a Christmas gift, which was a scarf, and she gave him in return a dog collar choker or something, I don't know. But it did seem like the webcomic was going in more of a wholesome direction at this point, or at least as wholesome as this version of Nagatoro could get. Also, fun fact, I don't know if this is true. I like to think that this moment in chapter 70 where Senpai gives her a scarf and she's all happy about it is a callback to this moment of the chapter. So at least we know that Nanashi got something out of the webcomic. Let's go! I do consider this Christmas chapter kind of the end of the line for this version of Nagatoro though, because the 5th chapter is more like a one-shot for the actual manga. Even if it does call back to the other doujin chapters, it leans more towards the manga in terms of how the story is written. But I do kind of like ending it off on this Christmas thing. It was nice, it was kind of wholesome, it was kind of trash for Senpai because he got a choker. But like I said, the 5th and final chapter before it became an official manga was great as well. It's in manga form, so no color, and I think it was actually put in the manga later on as a special chapter. Don't quote me on that, I'm not exactly sure. And the art style of Nagatoro was really cool here. It's a little bit different from the manga, if my eyes aren't deceiving me, but I do like it. And there's not much to this chapter, it's just kind of her teasing him about him being a virgin, but then she tricks him into thinking she's gonna give him hers, but then gives him a popsicle stick. It's a lot closer to how Nagatoro is today. So I think out of all the chapters, it definitely evolved from this one. So like I was saying, the reason reasons I think the webcomic is worth reading is because you get to see way more exaggerated archetypes for Nagatoro and Senpai. Even if it's not your thing, it's still interesting. Showing one screenshot from the first to the final chapter, it is also clear that Nanashi's artistic ability has improved, but I low-key really like how it was done in the first and fourth chapters. Also, Senpai doesn't wear glasses in this version. Also, the first couple of chapters are first person, so if you're a masochist, then you know, it may be for you. Overall, I'm not gonna lie to you, I genuinely would love to see this version of Nagatoro continue, even though it pretty much is a fetish piece for dominating girls and guys who like to be dominated. I am not saying, however, that I would rather have this than the manga. No way. The manga's way better. Don't get me wrong. Maybe just do it on the side because Nagatoro now is way better, but damn, would it have been cool to see what direction this story went in. Nanashi, if you're seeing this, do your thing, bro. But sadly, that probably won't happen as it seems that this version of Nagatoro is done and over with. But even though the Nagatoro webcomic is done and over with, it does not mean that my videos on Nagatoro are done and over with. So if you want to see more Nagatoro content, maybe subscribe to the channel, join the gang, join the squad. I do Nagatoro chapter reviews every other week when a new chapter drops, and I'm planning on making a video where I play the Nagatoro Saga, a short Nagatoro video game. So if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. Actually, I do know what would convince you. And before YouTube strikes me down for that one, it was a joke. I'm not dumb enough to pay for subscribers. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. Sorry. YouTube, please don't punish me. This channel is all I have. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Have a great day. And until next time, guys, peace.